Neanderthal strength is the stuff of legend. Thicker bones, crushing grip, a pain threshold unchanged by time. For years, every human challenger broke against that wall. Until now. Jon Jones arrives with Division I wrestling, an 84.5-inch reach, and a track record without a true weakness. This is the first time the Neanderthal problem meets a human solution, measured in geometry and fight IQ, not brute force. The technical credibility of this matchup rewrites everything we thought about the limits of human combat, and the gap between extinct monster and modern goat just got much, much closer. Jon Jones stands alone in MMA history. He became the youngest UFC champion at just 23 years old, then stacked up more title fight wins than anyone before or since. For over a decade, no one found a way to beat him in the cage. His only official loss came from an illegal elbow, not from being outclassed. Unlike every other human thrown at the Neanderthal problem, Jones does not rely on a single weapon. Tyson had boxing. Khabib leaned on grappling. Tate needed space and time. Jones has striking that works at every range, wrestling credentials that shut down Olympic-caliber opponents, and a submission game that finishes heavyweights and light heavyweights alike. His clinch work is just as dangerous as his distance attacks. Most important, his ability to adapt mid-fight and redesign his approach on the fly means there is no clear blueprint to beat him. That is what makes this matchup different. There is no obvious flaw for a Neanderthal to exploit. Jones brings a set of tools that covers every possible scenario. His wrestling background is real, national junior college champion, with the kind of mat control that shut down Olympic-level grapplers like Daniel Cormier. In title fights, he has taken down wrestlers who were never supposed to hit the canvas. But he is not just a wrestler. Jones built his striking game around unpredictability, oblique kicks that target the knee, and spinning elbows that can change a fight in a second. The elbow he landed on Gustafsson in the 4th round of UFC 165 did not just score points, it shifted momentum when he needed it most. When the fight goes to the ground, Jones has finished opponents with standing guillotines, arm triangles, and top control that smothers escape attempts. He has ended fights from every position. The real difference is his fight IQ. Jones adapts on the fly, reading what is working and changing tactics without hesitation. Against a Neanderthal, that means he can switch between wrestling, striking, and submissions with no warning, forcing the fight to happen on his terms. Jon Jones's physical dimensions redraw the map of this fight. His reach measures 84.5 inches. That is over 7 feet from fingertip to fingertip. That reach is the longest in UFC history, and it is nearly 1.5 feet longer than the average Neanderthal, who stood around 5'5" with a reach estimated at 65 to 67 inches. The gap is stark. Jones controls almost 18 inches of space the Neanderthal cannot touch. Every exchange starts with Jones already out of danger, able to land jabs, teeps, and oblique kicks, while the Neanderthal's arms fall short. The Neanderthal's stocky build, shorter forearms, and compact chest are built for power at close quarters, not for reaching across distance. For the first time in this matchup series, a human can strike without being struck. The geometry is simple. As long as Jones maintains that buffer, the Neanderthal has to cross a minefield just to get close enough to throw a punch. Jon Jones doesn't just fight at the edge of the rules, he makes that edge part of his game plan. Open hands, fingers aimed toward the eyes, force hesitation in anyone trying to close the gap. Referees have warned him in nearly every major fight: Rampage Jackson, Rashad Evans, Glover Teixeira, Daniel Cormier, Alexander Gustafsson. The pattern is clear. Jones uses the threat of eye pokes to freeze opponents, buying split seconds that matter when someone is charging at you. Even when officials tightened the rules in 2016, adding explicit language against extended fingers, Jones remained the most visible example. UFC broadcasts started explaining the new enforcement, but the tactic never left his arsenal. Point deductions are rare, warnings are routine. Fence grabs show up too, brief, almost instinctive, just enough to stall a takedown or buy a reset. These aren't accidents. Against a Neanderthal, every borderline move becomes a survival tool. In a fight where brute force can't be matched, the willingness to operate in the legal gray zone isn't just clever, it's necessary. Stopping a takedown isn't just about raw strength, it's about precision, timing, and a technical roadmap that unfolds in split seconds. Jon Jones built his defensive wrestling around the sprawl, a move that neutralized Olympic-level shots from fighters like Daniel Cormier and Ryan Bader. When an opponent drops levels for a takedown, Jones reacts with a textbook hip drop, throwing his legs back and planting his weight directly onto the attacker's shoulders. That hip control isn't just stalling, it's the first line of defense, making it nearly impossible to finish a double-leg drive. From there, Jones uses a crossface, driving his forearm across the head to break posture and sap momentum. As soon as the Neanderthal's forward push stalls, Jones doesn't stay static. He slides laterally, peeling off to reset distance before the clinch can lock in. This sequence, sprawl, cross-face, lateral exit, shows up again and again in his fights. Against someone who might have twice the grip strength of a human, the difference is that Jones never lets the exchange settle. Every shot gets stuffed, every entry turns into a scramble, and the fight snaps back to long range, where Jones has every advantage. The sprawl isn't just a wrestling move, it's the firewall that keeps the Neanderthal from turning brute force into a clinch, and it's been battle-tested against the best wrestlers modern mixed martial arts has produced. Damage accumulation is Jon Jones's signature. Over 5 rounds, he breaks down elite fighters with a steady stream of leg kicks, body shots, and elbows. But Neanderthal durability is not hypothetical. It is written right into the fossil record. Nearly 2/3 of adult Neanderthal skeletons show evidence of healed fractures, ribs, arms, and skulls. La Ferraci 1, one of the most complete specimens, survived at least 11 rib fractures over a lifetime. Shanidar 1 healed a shattered arm and lived decades with the injury. These were not one-off accidents. They were the cost of hunting large animals up close, of living in a world where blunt trauma was routine. Genetics adds another layer. Neanderthals carried a variant of the SCN9A gene, present in about 1/3 of non-Africans today, that increases sensitivity to pain. Modern carriers report sharper responses to pricking and heat. Yet the fossil record shows Neanderthals survived injuries that would sideline modern athletes. Pain for them did not mean quitting. It meant healing and returning to the hunt. That is the uncertainty for Jones. The usual playbook of wearing an opponent down may stall against a body designed to take punishment and keep moving forward. Accumulated damage might not slow the Neanderthal before he gets his hands on Jones. The margin for error shrinks. If attrition fails, the fight moves to a place where Jones's control is gone. A Neanderthal's grip is not just strong, it is on another level. Fossil evidence shows forearm bones thick as clubs, with massive muscle attachments that dwarf anything seen in modern athletes. Biomechanical models estimate their hands could generate up to twice the force of an elite human wrestler, potentially over 1,000 newtons per hand. That is the kind of power that can turn a clinch into a trap. When a Neanderthal locks their arms around a rib cage, the squeeze is not just uncomfortable. It is enough to threaten real injury or to shut down breathing. The shorter, barrel-chested build actually amplifies this force, letting them compress with every muscle working in tight coordination. In a clinch, Jones is not just fighting for position. He is racing against a grip that, if fully locked in, could end the contest in seconds. Once a Neanderthal locks a full clinch, the clock starts ticking. The squeeze is not just uncomfortable, it begins to compromise breathing almost immediately. Human rib cages can withstand several kilonewtons before breaking, but you do not need a fracture for trouble. All it takes is enough pressure to stop the chest from expanding. At force levels a Neanderthal can generate, Jones has maybe 5 to 10 seconds to escape before his ability to breathe is seriously impaired. Every second he waits, oxygen drops, power fades, and technical escapes become nearly impossible. The difference between breaking free and being finished comes down to what he does in that first instant. Once the squeeze is locked, the escape window slams shut fast. Science makes one thing clear: even humanity's greatest athlete faces doubt against our extinct rivals. Neanderthal strength is not a myth. It is measurable, and it is unmatched. Today, the limits of human evolution still define every contest worth imagining. Some matchups remind us just how recently we stopped being prey.